built for this network, for the strong, not the weak.
Good evening, everybody. This your man HRap coming at you live and direct. Again, this is a podcast. This is what I do every week. I do it 3 times a week now. This is a podcast. What is a podcast? It is on-demand entertainment. What it is me giving you information or having a conversation with. On Tuesdays, it's by myself. On Thursdays, it's with 2 other people, Rated Kev and Charlotte. And today I have my esteemed cousin. I'm going to do everything I do. We're going to do this the way I do it every other day. You can catch us live on Spreaker.com. You can go to YouTube. You can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Deezer, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts, or wherever you download your favorite podcasts. I acknowledge my family, as I do every week. Everybody connected to the Whitmore, Pollard, Patterson, Turner, Battle, Cotton, Harper, Bailey, Shaw, Walker, Thompson, Chris, Lansdowne, Liggins, Duncan, Trotter, Brandy, Brandon, Duncan, Wilson, Johnson, and Williams. Again, this is a podcast. This evening, I have the pleasure of talking to my wonderful cousin, Bonnie Patterson. We will do just like we did last week, and we will walk down memory lane. And how you doing, Bonnie?
I am doing well. Everything is coming along just fine. I am blessed to be this old.
Hey, I'm going to try to catch you and pass you.
Okay, I heard that.
Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to talk about life.
Okay.
And a lot of people, like I personally believe that a lot of people in our community, one of the biggest problems in our community is we don't sit at the feet of our elders and listen to the stories and listen to the trials and tribulations that you guys have gone through. So we don't understand the pain or the good times or understand how a family should function. Some of my greatest memories are with you, your sisters, your nieces, your nephews. We used to have a wonderful family. We used to all meet up at 1655. And I remember those good old days. And
you remember that?
Yes, indeed. Okay. I remember 74th and Ada. I remember 1655 West Hastings. I remember your mother, your father, Uncle George. And it's just, I want everybody in the world to hear your story. Hopefully when they hear our story, our family story and your story, it'll help them galvanize their family and talk to their family members, and we can move on. And we can make the black community the way it used to be. A bunch of unity, a bunch of good times, and even through the struggles of discrimination and racism, we still loved each other.
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do is ask you the question of the day. What's your oldest and most fond memory? And if you don't mind, how old were you when that happened?
You know what? I've had a pretty good life. And you want one that stands out the most?
Mm-hmm. Or just a random one. One of the ones that you go, yeah, that was a good time.
Okay. I would say, now I graduated in 66.
Okay.
In 67, I went on my first job.
Okay.
Now that was a good time, but it was things that were happening around that time.
Mm.
The job was good, the people were good, everybody was communicating, especially the black people.
Okay.
You know, black people know how to have fun, whether anybody know that or not.
Indeed.
And I am proud to be a black woman, for
Amen.
sure.
Amen.
I would tell that to anybody. And, well, you know, at that time, we, like you say, we would gather and we would have, it was family time.
Mm-hmm.
And my father, head of the household, I thought it was well. Like now, the boys and girls and the men and women growing up, the man is missing in the house. That's a problem right there.
Okay.
Okay. So my household was good, as you well know.
Indeed.
And even my grandmother and my cousins and whatever, and their household was good. So we had good structure.
Indeed.
Very good structure. I can see where they're going nowadays, and they don't know which way to go or whatever, but they need to leave that in the hands of the Lord. And then that's who will direct their path. You know what I'm saying? So I hadn't thought about that at the time. You don't think about that when you're young.
Yeah, you don't.
But when you're young, you do depend on your family. You look at your family and see which way they're going. And my father was head of the house, and my mother didn't even work.
Oh, amen.
He took care of all of us. It was 7 children.
Okay, talk to me.
And what I'm getting at is, it doesn't matter about how many kids these men had. They took care of them at that time. And these guys need to step up and recognize that, you know, if you got children, you need to help out in some kind of way. And they're looking at this. If you ignore these kids and push them to the side and does not give them any direction, I don't know which way they would go.
Exactly. I mean, I think, like my dad died 4 months before I was born, but I still had bit. I still used to look up to your brother Steve.
The man.
Yeah. I used to, Daddy Whitmore.
Yeah, it was a man around.
Yep, your brother Steve, he used to come around. Your brother Jerry, Richard used to come around. It was a situation to whereas I didn't have to look in other directions to find a positive male role model because I had them. Like that's why I acknowledge everybody and everybody that's related to me because the ancestors as well as the people here. That's why I say everybody connected to those names. I really acknowledge them because without them there is no me.
All right.
So,
a lot of them come out of my family too, and you blessed to have siblings, but I mean that's no excuse for you not to succeed in life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There are other people around you that you can look to for direction.
Exactly.
But you blessed when you got cousins and uncles and nephews and people that you can look up with. That's a good thing. That is really a good thing. And those guys then, they were good, and everybody has their vices and things that they do and whatever. But if you're looking at these guys and they're for real, they'll show you the real way.
Yeah.
They really will.
They really will. And
they will show you the real way.
Yeah, I mean, our entire neighborhood was like that. You know, over there on 1655, you know, like.
Absolutely.
We ain't have no, this was somebody else's mama or this is somebody. It was like, even I got friends some of the lifelong friends like my buddy Craig. And I remember I was 21 years old and it was snowing bad. And we were at Craig's house, and a friend of ours said, "Hey man, go here with me." And you know when you got the man law, so you agree, so you got to go.
Absolutely.
And his grandmother looked at him and said, "You're not going. It's too much snow out there." And she looked at me and said, "You either, Brian." And we thought we were grown until Miss Brown said, "You need to sit down."
That was my thought too. That at that time, and now it's hard that. These kids rear up at the older people, just like they don't know what's going on, you can't tell me anything, but they need to get that out of their head because they can tell them something, they can show them something, but the kids nowadays won't let you. But then, those elders was telling you right, they were trying to save your life, in other words.
Yes, indeed.
What if you went out there and something happened?
And then it's on their heart.
Yeah,
it's on their spirit. Yeah. Yeah.
But these kids nowadays will not hear it. I just don't understand it. If you want better for your life, you need to listen to somebody.
Exactly. Because all us learning each and every day.
Every day. And don't you think if they're older than you, they might know a little something?
Okay. Okay. Yes, indeed. So you left high school, you said 1966?
Yeah, and in 67 I got a job at, and see, to show you how your relatives step up for you, my aunt, Theodora, the one we called Goo, she steered me to this job. She told me about this job. Otherwise, I don't know. I had to search around and look or whatever, but I didn't have to go very far. Because like you said, we were on Hastings Street. I could walk to my job because I started at Rush Hospital.
Oh, okay. And you know what? A lot of people in our family did not know. And if Stevie, your brother, your youngest brother, I think, Stevie took me to down in the 1700 block on Hastings and said y'all used to live down there. I had no clue.
No idea.
Only place that I knew that you live is on 74th and 80th.
Our address was 1809 West Hastings Street, down the street from Grandma.
Yep, I did not know that.
1809, and that whole area is different. It's gone, and all factories and buildings, and I come by, and even the grammar school was on Damon that I went to.
Me too.
Gladstone,
Me too.
It's gone. It's gone.
No. They just changed. The building is still there. They just changed the name.
Oh,
it is.
Okay.
It is.
Nobody told me. I'm steady looking.
It's UIC College Prep now.
Okay, I'm steady looking. I'm saying, what happened to my building that I used to go to? Well, I didn't ask anybody, so okay.
Now, our old
That was
house.
a fun time. The beginning. That was when I first got out of school, and what after coming out of the grammar school, and I went to Crane High School.
Okay.
And after coming out of this Crane school, the boys used to come there and do basketball in the yard there at that school there, and we had a fun time then too.
Okay, tell me about the music and the fun times at Crane.
They had, I'm trying to think of back then when they would when I got out of high school, I used to go to the dances.
Okay.
Now they weren't Stafford sets or whatever. I can't remember what they called them because we didn't do the fast dance like they do a fast dance, but they called it the bop.
Okay, my mama told me about that.
Bop, but it wasn't fast, and it was a different step.
Okay.
Now you can catch these older people with this step that we do, this bop. That new bop, I never even caught on to it. But most of my people, they still do the old bop like they used to do. And we used to go to the dances. You would go to a hall, wasn't a tab.
Okay.
Big hall, and you dance around in a circle like, and they called this the walk.
Okay.
And it was a beautiful dance. It was like a slow dance. You didn't really do no slow dance. You just danced around the floor, and it was just beautiful. And everybody went in the same direction. And you came with your partner, and believe me, those people danced like that for 5 and 6 hours. You could do that. We danced like that all evening, night until the morning. It's such a good time. And the dress then, everybody was fabulous.
Talk to me about the way people dress. People don't dress like that no more.
The girls, if you had your outfit on, you if you didn't have your outfit, you weren't coming. I mean, you done made up your mind. If I'm not ready, I can't go there. So, and at that time, when I got out of school in high school, they didn't, I guess they didn't allow the girls to wear pants. You know, they didn't start wearing pants until into the 70s.
Wow.
So when I was going to high school, we weren't allowed to wear pants in the school. You could wear them to under, and because it was so cold outside, but when you got to the school, you had to take them off.
Oh, wow.
That's the way it
Wow.
was going in school. So, but when on to the dances, we still wasn't into the pantsuits or the pants, so it was always a dress. Every girl had on a beautiful dress, whatever they want, short, long, tight, however, and nice shoes, beautiful hairdo. They talking about pick and chooses. Them guys didn't know who to pick. Them girls were so beautiful. All of them was beautiful.
Okay. Talk to me
Really had
about.
a nice time at that time, and you figure you looking so good, you don't want to go in there fighting and messing yourself up. Very rarely did we have a fight.
Good.
They had to been awfully mad at each other, drunk or whatever, but very rarely did we have a fight. They was too cool for that.
All right. I like it. Okay, 66. This is right in the middle of the Motown sound. Talk to me about that
Absolutely.
Motown
You
sound.
had the Stylistics. You had the Temptations. They were out then. You had the Dales were playing. I can't even think of these groups now. If you say them to me, and I got CDs across my wall with all of these people. And not only that, they had, who my favorite was at the time, and they used to jam him so much, Jimmy Smith.
Okay, talk to me. Tell me about Jimmy Smith.
And they did a bebop off of him. That song he played was 17 minutes long. Them boys could dance, them girls could dance. You would dance. If you didn't dance, then you wasn't doing nothing.
All right. Because, see, even when I came up, we leaning on the walls, so y'all was there to get down.
Get down. And it's some of them came without their partner, and they knew who could dance and who didn't, and they would dance with them, they would talk to them or whatever. But most of the time you come with your partner. Your partner, you and your partner had to make up the steps and do whatever, and they looked so good. You should have seen them at the time. I mean, that sticks in my mind.
So, okay, you got a partner, so are y'all practicing through the week?
Sometimes they do.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they do, and after they get together for so long, you automatically know what he gonna do.
Oh yeah. Now, okay, let's go take it back just a little bit. It's the 60s. This is a different time in the world. So you graduated in 66, so you started in 60s.
I was so young in the 60s. I'm coming out in the 70s.
Okay.
I was so young in the 60s. Basically, I wasn't doing too much at anything because, your mother and them wouldn't let you go out.
Oh, no.
I was 15, 16, 17 years old, but I will tell you this. Here's another one. I think we were about 16 to 17 years old. Now, we weren't all bad kids. I mean, you could get into some trouble. But my mother and them was really good at, we would say, we're going somewhere, and really, we would go there.
Okay.
And if they were having a dance, like we lived over there near Roosevelt, they had a place that they would just open up and you can go in there and dance, or go down there near the projects, you could go in there and dance. And my mother would let us go. Now, at that time, there was a skating rink on Woods and Roosevelt.
Okay.
Oh, they played music and they skated. Those boys from down, what they call in, where they moved all the stores from down there in Halsted.
Oh, Jewtown.
It was some houses around there where people lived, and these boys would come from down there, and they could skate. Oh, them boys could skate. I tell you, people wouldn't believe it. They could skate up on the wall.
Ooh.
That's how good they could skate.
I remember your brother Jerry. Every time I saw him, he had some skates.
Jerry skated. I skated. Sharon skated. Renee skated. I don't know about Spring, but and Stevie skated. Stevie could skate.
Yeah.
He could skate.
Okay, when you become a freshman in high school, the world is really changing. You got the president dies. You have Malcolm X gets murdered.
I was watching his story again last night.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Absolutely.
How was life then? Because you black and you got Dr. King. You got half the people loving Dr. King and a lot of them hating him. And a lot of people hating Malcolm X. Because that's what people see now that it's 50, 60 years later. They superheroes. But people don't realize back then people hated Malcolm X and Dr. King. Talk to me about that.
They were trying to bring the black people out. And you're right. You absolutely. I'm missing that point because of. But like I say, if you were teen or sort of like 17, 18 or whatever, you could get in the mix. I was still too young to really get into what they were doing. Mm-hmm. I heard them and I saw it and I understood, and how the black people were suppressed and and they were trying to get ahead. And look how long it took them. Mm-hmm. They've been marching for 100 and some years trying to get some rights.
Just
to vote
even.
All this kind of stuff. I heard it then, yes. And it wasn't, you right, in certain circumstances, in those jobs, you can go in those jobs, but you wasn't head of nothing. They weren't picking you for nothing. You couldn't do nothing, I mean, you worked. It was just a job that you had, and you were glad to have a job at that time because black folks didn't have much.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that. Black folks didn't have much. But me being 51, looking back, it seems like, of course it was bad times, but it don't seem like it is now. Like, I ain't got nothing, he ain't got nothing, she ain't got nothing, they don't have nothing, but we still okay. How y'all tell people how?
You wondering why they acting like they acting now?
Because
I know a lot of people can't quite figure that out either. You know what I'm saying? How you just gonna just not help yourself and we worked and we helped ourselves and we did what we had to do, yes, but not go out there and take from you. You know what I'm saying? It didn't used to be like that. And when, like I say, we didn't have many fights then when we was in the club. I remember then. I used to go to different places and they didn't snatch you off the street like that and beat you up and take your cars and all that kind of stuff. They didn't do that then. I don't know what's going on here now. Where they get that from? That mentality to just take your stuff off you.
That's something that is amazing to me because I've heard things like this, like the way you say you dress. The way y'all was dressing was to the nines. Everybody was sharp.
And you did not want to be disturbed.
Right. And I hear about stories like spending a day at the Regal, or it was another place.
Absolutely, we went there.
Tell me about the Regal Theater.
And the Regal was so nice.
Hold on 1 second. For the people who don't know, the Regal Theater is actually.
It was the place to see all the entertainers.
Yes.
Oh, it was so nice. I mean, it wasn't hard to get up in there, and it didn't cost much at that time either. Okay. That's why a lot of people went there. It was nice. I don't know what to tell you about it. It was satisfactory. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go anywhere, you want to go to the Regal to see them people.
Yeah, because I heard about James Brown. You can go see anybody at the Regal.
And not only that, all these people come out from Hail Melvin and the Blue Notes and James Brown come from a tavern over there on the west side, if you didn't know.
Tell me about it. Is that the 1815 Club?
I'm not sure of the name of the club, but they used to have shows out there. This before they even got booked at the Regal.
Oh, wow.
When they first started out.
I see. That's something. If you talking about the 1815, is that on Roosevelt and Woods right there?
Yeah.
1815 Club. Yep.
It's the little joint that we used to go into all the time.
Yeah. Tell me about that because we don't.
It was just a room and had wood around it and we just was looking for some place to go. And when they say meet up at so everybody would meet up there.
See, like by the time I came of age, you had a couple. It was like maybe 7 clubs, but the one thing I really like about the old stories, like y'all had the Rock Bottom, y'all had the 1815, y'all had this place, y'all had that place, and it was just us there. Not that we don't want nobody else there, but it was us there enjoying us.
And it was more fun that way too. This is what I'm saying. I'm glad I'm black. Nobody has as much fun as black people, and I don't care under what kind of situations. They gonna have some fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They gonna have some fun. Just get the right people together.
Oh yeah.
And we had the right people together. Always did. You know your people, as they say.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's still, you know what? It's in a lot of ways, it's still like that. Okay. Another joint that I'd heard my mama talk about is the Broadway Strand.
Look,
tell me about it.
That's where they skated, roller skating there.
Okay.
That was our skating ring right there.
Oh,
and
wow.
people would come from everywhere. Way over across Roosevelt, over there was the Henry Hornby projects over there.
Okay.
They come from there. They come from the projects down the street. They come from out west. And that was a big hall, big place. That would hold all that people. They would be crowded. You know what a skating rink looked like?
Oh yeah, I used to go to the Rainbow.
Like.
I used to go up to the Rainbow and out to the rink.
Oh, the Broadway Strand. It was a show at first.
Okay.
And we used to go to show there.
Yeah, that's what Pudgy was telling me about.
Yeah, and then they, I think on certain days they did keep the show, but they would open it up. They saw they could make some money. Yeah, they made some money.
Oh yeah.
Ooh-wee, them people's coming from everywhere and skate, and that's where I seen those boys that skating. They could skate, my God. They could skate.
And Alice Page just jumped in. She said, don't forget about the Key Largo on Damon.
All right, okay. There was some, I've just been trying to think of this tavern that we used to go to on, not only did we stay on the west side, me and Sharon would venture on the south side. That's where you had the Peps at. And you had it was a place at 63rd off the L track upstairs called the Casino.
Okay.
And then there was another place that was 77 and Cottage Grove, and that was the place.
Oh, okay.
Anybody you know would be up in that place.
All right.
That was a lounge though. It was a tavern.
Okay. Man,
that was definitely
see, I never even heard of those places.
All right. We used to go to them. See, we could come to, that was on the south side.
Yeah. See, that's what I was telling people. Like my buddy Kev, he's watching now, and I was telling him that Chicago, if you from the west side, you stayed on the west side for the most part.
But not necessarily.
Okay, talk to me, because that's how they're doing it now. Talk to me.
Necessarily, because my sister Sharon, she was very sociable.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember.
And she met people everywhere and did all kind of stuff. So probably what made us spread out was the people that we met. And Crane High School, Crane, Marshall, Farragut, those were the schools.
Okay.
And you would see these people at the dances, and we would go all the way south and see these people. See,
Okay.
Everybody knew the spots that you were supposed to go to.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of people that I knew from the west side.
All right. All right, cause hey, now
Let me say, you know your people when you see them.
Oh yeah. And that's something else I tell them. I was like, hey man, when you see somebody from the west side, you from Chicago, that's one of my people. I see you. Okay.
And there were people that came to the south side that was bold enough to venture that way, and my sister and we went. No stop.
Okay, what year did y'all leave the 1800 block on Hastings?
Let me see. My mom and them moved on Hastings. No, they didn't. They stayed on 1276 West 74th Street.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they moved off of Hastings, and they moved off of Hastings in '69.
Okay, right before I got here.
But you know what they did? My daddy. Did you know my daddy George?
Uncle George. I know
They
Uncle
found
George.
a house in Gary, Indiana.
Okay.
They stayed there a month or two, and my mama said, it's too dead out here. Which George's job was on 24th and Lewis.
Okay.
He worked at the factory or whatever kind of company that was. He was an electrician there.
Okay.
And Ann said, "Oh, I just don't like it out here. I don't know nobody. I don't see nobody. I don't think nobody come visit me." So he said, "Do you want to move back to the city?" She said, "Oh, yeah." And that's how they would move down on 74th Street.
Okay.
That was the house that they found.
Gigantic
Right in the
basement.
heart of whatever was going on.
Oh, yeah. I used to love that house. I had a gigantic basement.
That's where they come from. She said she could not stay in Gary, Indiana no longer.
Okay. Gary,
And I didn't
Indiana.
even get a chance to visit out there. That's how short they stayed there.
Oh, wow. Oh, so you were out the house already.
I left when I was 18.
Oh, okay. So, oh, yeah, that's right, because you say Goo got you the job at Rush, at Press.
I was 18, and I made 19. I had just made 19. My
Okay.
birthday was in July.
Okay. When your birthday? July what?
14.
Oh, okay. I thought she was like me and your mama on the Leo side.
Oh, no. And I've been gone. I left and never moved back with them.
Oh, wow.
Never did. And my daddy, he was instrumental in he was a working person, although he was a drinking person, a gambling person. He was all of that. But his work ethics were good, and that's why I'm saying that these young people need to listen to somebody and don't look at them and say, "Oh, he drinks too much," or "He don't know nothing." Those people know. They know what they're talking about. And my daddy used to tell me, he the one used to say, "Watch the news," and he say, "If you don't watch the news, you know, in that time they used to buy papers every day, the Tribune and the Sun Times, and every day they buy papers." And my daddy would say, "Read the papers, keep up on the news, know what these people are doing, know what's happening in the world." And he said, "If you don't do nothing, just look at the TV." He would give good advice all the time, and his best advice to me, and that's why I stayed out so long and was able to make it. He said, "Whatever money you make, save some. Save some."
And see,
And I did, and every time that I needed a little something, I could fall back on the money that I made.
and that's one of the big things that's missing today too, because a lot of these people just, you know, you think you grown, and I've been there. Like I told Pudgy last week, Richard and my mama used to give me a whole lot of good advice, and I didn't turn out too bad. But I'd have turned out, I ain't been to the penitentiary. I ain't had no bad habits.
All right.
But I would have been way better off if I would have did what you did and listened to them. But you know, you think you grown, you 18, can't nobody tell you nothing. You invented the world when you 18, so it's just, you know.
And another thing, in these reminded me of when the way I say the kids react to the older people and what they think about the older people and whatever. You would never say anything after way to your mother.
Oh no.
Never ever. Even if you thought it, you would turn your head. These kids don't hesitate to say what they gonna say and tell you they're not gonna do it. You would never do your parents like that. And I think that's out of respect. So I don't know if they got respect for their parents or what to act like that toward them.
Yeah, I don't either. It is a crazy situation. We went from fearing and respecting our parents to disrespecting and ignoring our parents. And
Absolutely.
And
I never would have said what the things that these kids say today.
yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
They need to get a handle on what they doing.
Yeah, they do. I can remember me, Bo, and Phyllis. Me, Bo, Phyllis, Lynn, Eric, your sister, LaFawn. We were real tight. And I remember one time Craig said something a little out of the way to Connie, and my grandmama put it on Craig.
See that? Absolutely. We used to stay. Me and Sharon used to visit Annette and Lois and Rich, and so Lois cussed like a sailor.
Yeah.
So you better look out when you see her coming. You know what I'm saying? And if she tell you to do something, you better do it. Now, at the beginning, that street, it was a park. When they stayed when we were little. You weren't even born probably. No. And it had a big tall fence, like 10 feet. You have to climb up to get, and they would lock the gates on the weekend. You're not supposed to be in there. And Lois has said, I don't want you all in that yard. Me, Sharon, and Annette. You know we climbed that fence and went in that yard. She whooped us all the way out that yard. All of us.
Yeah, she was a world-class whooper.
She was a world-class, but I respected her.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? And on one hand, you have to look at the whole person. She was a good person, and she was a funny person.
Indeed.
Richard was a funny person. All of them, I loved to be with them. Even though she cussed, I didn't care. I just loved to be around them. They was good people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wasn't there. I only got 7 real good years with her.
Okay, they were good people.
Man.
Oh, my goodness. I loved all of them.
Yes.
All of them. Every one of them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the greatest things about your mother that I've never seen your mother without a smile on her face.
Yeah, she bared it. She really bared it for all the stuff that was going on in the world. Yeah, she really, and she showed strength. You know what I'm saying? And there it is. And there were other women that showed strength too. Mama Esther.
Yes.
The grandmama.
Yes.
She showed tremendous strength.
Oh, yes. Tell these people about your grandmama, my great-grandma.
Oh, they were so nice. And me and Sharon, my mama and them, the kids, they would say, my mama, Goo, and them, whatever. Well, I couldn't get any information but from my mother. And she's saying that Daddy Whitmore was hard.
Yeah, that's what Pudgy said.
Say cold or whatever. He wasn't really that. They just looking at him. He was stern, as to say. He didn't let nothing past him. What he said, and what he did, he did. Okay. So she was saying, and I'm showing you for example. She was saying, he don't have much to say to the grandkids or you all. Now, I'm the grandkids, Sharon. And so we didn't care. We come there, and we come in, and his mother was there too, and Mama Esther and him, and he would always watch the football, not football, baseball on Sunday, because he was an electrician, mechanic, and he had a shop in the back of the house.
Indeed, big old shop.
And so, and on Sunday we come there, me and Sharon, and we talk to him. We come in, and he say, "Oh, come on in here and talk to me." And I'm saying to myself, I wonder why my mama said that. But everybody pick and choose, and they talk, and people when you see them. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. He knew, and he was crazy about Sharon. He called her Mae West.
Oh, wow.
He was crazy about Sharon. She had that flair about her,
Okay.
And but so like I said, we didn't have a whole lot. And I was saying to my mama, I'm getting ready to graduate, and I need a dress. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go down here and ask my granddaddy to buy me a dress. She didn't stop me. She said, I don't know. She taking it for what she's looking at, And I say, well, I'm taking it for what I look at. And I say, I ain't scared to go down here and ask him to buy me no dress. So he was working, and he come out as I come up the street, and I stopped and talked to him, and we were talking a bit, and I told him what I want to do and where I want to go, and I needed a dress, and could he buy me a dress, and he told me, sure.
Wow.
Sure. And my mama was totally surprised.
Oh, wow.
She said, he don't talk to nobody but the folks upstairs that mean Lois and Richard and Annette.
He used to talk to me a lot.
Yeah, there were certain people.
Yep, he talked to me a whole lot. He gave me the nickname, and Bo and Phyllis still tease me with to this day, because I was a little lighter then, and I would stay outside all day. So I would come in about my complexion now, so he started calling me Brownie, instead of Brian. Brownie,
right.
come here.
But
And he would talk to
He
him.
knew people when he seen them.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I know he was able to size them up. And there's nothing wrong with talking to certain people. You talk to some and some you don't.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's all right. It was all right with me.
That was an awesome block. That was an awesome block. I mean, I still, to this day, we moved from around there in 76.
Oh, did you not?
And then we moved to the north side. And I still remember how the block when we had Miss Fitch, Mr. Glenn, we had
how
our
about the
family.
people stay right next door to him?
Mr. Hall, Mr. Garrett,
them.
Miss
I remember
McKay,
them so well.
Alice family, Miss Page, Miss Winston. Yeah, I mean, the best times of my life.
From there, after that, few people we stayed in contact with. Now, Renee stayed in contact with a lot of people, but she's younger, though.
Yeah.
And a lot of folks I done really forgotten. A lot of people have passed. And that project down there have totally changed, too.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people that moved away from down there.
That 99% of that project is gone because we stayed down there for a minute. We stayed down there until I was like 7.
Okay. We
stayed at 1209 on Racine, the very first building.
Okay.
And then we moved to 1450 North Sedgwick because my mother used to live there.
I remember Sedgwick. I came there.
She moved. Yep.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. People didn't come over there a lot because we lived on the 5th floor and that's the top floor.
I came there.
And people was tired when they walked all them stairs. They was like, "We ain't coming back."
You ain't coming back. Well, back to when we were back in back in the 70s or whatever, and I said my daddy was working. He worked at the plant.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, all these names is not coming to me right now, but his job used to have now this place was owned by white people, and his job, and they hired him. I don't know how many black people worked there, and that was back in the 60s, 70s. He got this job when he got out of the service.
Okay.
And they gave picnics
Mm.
for everybody worked there.
Okay.
And you talking about a picnic. Oh, my goodness. Them people would have lines of food and beef and ribs and salads and potatoes, and they would have games and whatever. And my mama, we thought that her family was kind of standoffish, you know, as you would say. And but not really. But they turned out to be pretty good people. And George invited them to one picnic. They was coming every time. Yes, they were. That was a picnic. You talking about a picnic? They had stuff lined up from one end of the picnic to the other. You could get anything. They gave games and they just did everything at that picnic. And that man, this was free. The job paid for all of this. Shoot. And people know they came out in droves.
You couldn't get rid of them, huh?
Couldn't get rid of.
Okay, we in the 70s now.
Okay.
We had like this. I step in the picture, but I'm just, I'm walking into the picture. Talk to me about the 70s, the music, the movies.
This was a good time. That's when they went to doing they rocking and rolling then, and they had we were in the pantsuits and different stuff, and we were still going out to the lounges and stuff like that. And that's when I bought my first car in 1973.
Okay, what'd you get?
And it was fun. And I took that car and rode it. They say, don't go here, don't go there. I said, girl, ain't nowhere I can go that I get lost, because I know where I'm going. I went all on the north side. I went all on the west side, all south, everywhere. I rode that car everywhere. And we would go, and I didn't understand that then, and I don't know how we did it. We would go in the lounges. They had lounges then. They had cut it down. They weren't no big places like they used to be. Mm-hmm. But they had a lot of lounges around, and we drank and drive ourselves home. I don't even know how we did.
Okay, in the middle of the 70s, it's this new music come out. You know, everybody
Yeah,
love.
it did.
Yeah, everybody
I'm trying to
love
think of what were they doing then.
disco. Donna Summer.
Yeah, and
Talk
the
to
bop
me.
and the different stuff. Cause Candace was born in '79.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were doing it then. We wasn't going out a whole lot, but the music was good, and they were having mostly house parties.
Okay, talk to me. Let me hear about the house party.
Yeah, but they always had house parties because back when I say I got out of high school and we were doing it, we were having house parties then. You know, they were telling you we had quarter parties. You heard about that, didn't you?
I heard about quarter parties with the red
You
light.
go there and you pay a quarter to go in.
Oh yeah.
Now they had a lot of. Now that was in the early '70s too.
Okay.
And then we go on into the '70s. No, I say that was a early '70s, because you know they was playing Smokey Robinson
Okay.
then.
Oh.
And loved him. And Aretha Franklin had been around a long time. And the Rocksteady, the chairman that you talking about, every time you passed, they was paying respect. They wore Aretha out, and then loud. You could hear it down the street. Respect. All I want is respect. Everywhere you went, they was playing that.
Where now, huh?
Way loud.
Okay.
But the dances wasn't like it was at the beginning. They had mostly house things that you went to, and I'm trying to think of what we did. We mostly had house parties.
Okay.
House parties.
Okay. Now
You dance in the house, whatever, and you might go to a lounge or tavern or whatever, but it wasn't like it was at first when they had them big places that everybody fill in and dance around and stuff like that. That's what you miss when they were so sharp then. Oh, I never will forget that.
Now, this is when I used to sit back and hear my mama and Richard and Rita talking about they about to go out, and they used to go. They used to go to the Chick Rick house.
Okay.
And they used to go.
Chick Rick was on 103rd.
Not that one. The one that was on 28th and Michigan.
Down there. Okay.
Yeah. You talking about Mr. Ricky's. You talking about on 103rd is Mr. Ricky's. Because they were still out when I got a chance to hang out.
Okay. And I bet you they got dressed up too.
Oh yeah. You couldn't get in like the way these young people dress now. You couldn't get in the club that way. You had to be shy. Like they say, you had to be casket shy.
But you know, if they had any pride about themselves, they wouldn't go in there like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what they looking like. Why would you go up in there like that? You know they're gonna be looking at you strange.
And the one thing I used to really like about the Chick Rick house, it had, when you walk in, they had a band.
Okay.
And it was people your age sitting there. Like when I tell you 1992.
And they loved it.
They loved it. And then once you walk in, they had the big money section.
Okay.
And I remember one of my last times going up in there before it caught on fire.
Okay.
I walked in there. I was walking in, and he wasn't a big deal at this time, but Deion Sanders was in there. And he didn't even drink. He was just buying drinks. He bought me a drink.
Okay.
What kind of celebrities were you guys hanging out with? Or were the celebrities out like that?
No, didn't hang out with no ball players or no golfers or nothing like that. We would see them, but we didn't approach them like that. You know what I'm saying? No, we basically stayed to ourselves.
Okay.
No celebrities.
Oh yeah, I didn't approach him. He was just, just
nice. Huh?
Yeah, he was just out there, and he wanted it. He wanted everybody to know because he wasn't even like he called himself prime time now, right?
Okay.
He was Neon Dion then. So he wasn't even prime time. But okay, now at this point, like you said, y'all not at the nightclubs anymore, the lounges. Y'all doing more community like house parties. When do you think things start to take a turn?
Take a turn into what?
Well, like families start drifting apart. The neighborhoods, neighborhoods no more. Because from up until this point, we talking about me and you talking about the mid
Being
'70s,
together, right.
right? But everybody's still together. When do you think things start taking
Well,
a turn?
you basically saying when the world got turned upside down, huh?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Wow. Oh boy. I would say the 80s were good.
Okay, talk to me about the '80s.
They were good. We were still out and we were doing our thing, and I want to say, like I say, I'm aware, and I guess most folks are aware of what's happening around you, and the jobs you have and the places you go in the 80s. Basically, you just building on all this and getting yourself together. So the world still hadn't changed. I think when the 90s came.
Well, you know what? Talk to me a little bit about the 80s.
When the 90s came and things happened, although we were thinking back about when Malcolm X got killed and they did all this to Martin Luther King and all this kind of stuff, but and I heard about it and I just didn't. It just wasn't my thing to march and get into all that or whatever. Like I said, I know that it was different and things changed, and when 90s come, that's when the attitude of people changed. I would think at that time, and like I'm saying, when the young people got more aggressive, and it's not wrong to get more aggressive, is when they come to themselves and say, oh, we're not going to let these people treat us like this, or we're not going to do this, or we're going to march this and march that. But like on the other hand, you got to learn from the mistakes of what was happening then in order to move forward. And I don't think it's round trailing in my mind that they're not listening to the elderly people or what they're trying to say to them. You know what I'm saying? They're going out on their own, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And I think that's when the world got turned upside down, is when so many going to do it on their own and not looking at trying to follow and know that there's a certain way you do certain things.
Yeah, most definitely, because like they say, smart people learn from their mistakes.
Yeah, and certain things.
Yeah, other intelligent people learn from other people's mistakes.
All right, and this is what I'm looking at, you know, and in the 90s, and what does it say? A lot of them became headstrong, as they say, and we're gonna do it this way, and we're gonna do it that way, and it's all right to march and let your feelings be known, and let them know that this was not right, and you know, and hold these people accountable. But here we got the folks killing people and wrecking their buildings and wrecking their, you know, the business, and you know, all that into that is not nice. It's not right here.
Okay.
They started doing that in the 90s.
Hey, you know what? Let me ask you this. Like I know I wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure Crane was an all-black high school, Krieger, Marshall, so forth and so on. Do you think when we start integrating the schools, did that take away from anything?
We had some people there. No, I don't think it took away from anything.
Okay.
What you're saying, changing people's mind attitudes?
Yeah.
No. I think that we're back to that gap right there. These young folks stop listening to these old people. That's where the trouble come in at. You're going to do it on your own. How you going to do something when you don't even know what's happening back there?
Right. And I run into that a lot, that people, people my age.
The school didn't change nothing.
Okay.
Farragut had white kids in it. Crane had some white people in it.
Wow.
Because our basketball team was black and white.
Did not know that.
And the college next to it.
Yeah, Malcolm X.
And but you know, Malcolm X over on the other street, Crane right in the back of it. I don't know a hallway. You go through the hallway and you into the college.
See, you know what, that college, I never knew about that college because that.
It was right in back. And the passageway was, I forget what floor we on, but it was the cafeteria.
Okay.
And you walk through the cafeteria, walk through those doors. So it must be, I'm trying to think, hell, it's been 60 years ago. So I'm trying to think, I can remember the hallway, the lockers. So I guess that's the way it was. It's around. And it's just one way around. And the cafeteria, so you can come around and go into the college, or you can come through, if you're in the cafeteria, you can come in and go through the college.
Oh, okay. See, I never knew that.
And those girls used to swoon over them college boys. Oh my God. Well, you know, they was college. They were playing ball.
Big time.
Nothing changed.
I never knew about no college over there.
Nothing changed.
Because by the time I got there, Malcolm X was there. Only thing in my life, it was like, what's that? Walcott and Roosevelt. What's that? No, it ain't. Grimshaw and Walcott was Krieger. Right, it was Krieger. And then you got Crane, and
Krieger was all boys school.
Yeah, all boys school. I remember Krieger was because again, to mention Alice, her brother Harvey went there. Pee Wee went there.
Okay.
Y'all knew a lot of the older guys went to Krieger and Crane, but I never knew about a college over there.
Yes, it was right in the back, and you know what? It was a college prep or whatever it was called because only young fellas went there.
Okay.
No women.
No women.
I don't know what that was. I mean, I was in the high school and they was in the college, but all we saw was men.
Okay.
Well, I mean, young
men.
guys. I've seen no ladies.
Oh, wow.
And it's a Crane technical school. Crane Tech.
Yeah.
So maybe, and you know, times change because you could only get certain jobs. You could only do certain things. They were only letting certain bias to men getting a job and a woman getting a job. So what they were teaching back there in that school was only for the guys. They weren't teaching girls that.
Okay. Did you ever think about going over to Lucy Flowers?
No.
No way, huh? Yeah, because I remember that was the girl. That was the girls. Yeah. Oh, so you wanted to hang out.
No. I mean, there's some folks come out of Lucy Flowers was all right. But I know I hadn't thought about that.
Okay.
I just went to the school in the area and kept on pushing. I'd have to take buses and all of this kind of stuff. But before we moved, I take that. Well, I'm trying to think of before, because when I moved on Hastings Street, I was in 5th grade. I'm telling you, see, we were young then, so we wasn't going out doing much. We moved from the west side. We stayed all the way out where they called in the KKs and on a street called Kenneth.
Did not know that. Talk to me about, because you know they call it K-Town now.
That's where we moved from when we moved on Hastings. And I moved out of the grammar school until there, and I was 5th grade.
Okay. Educate me.
We used to go to the school, and Annette went to school with us, me, Sharon, and Annette. And she'd come down and we walked to school around there.
Okay. Did not know that.
I just thought about that.
Okay. Talk to me about, well, they call it K-Town now. But talk to me about K-Town.
I'm telling you, I can't tell you too much about them because we were young.
Oh, yeah, you were too young. Okay.
Yeah, I moved away from there. It had to be about 13 that. But I know it was nice. And I don't know what made them move. I never asked or whatever. And I know the house we lived in was nice, apartment. And we always had a nice Christmas. When the Christmas went by that, we didn't have a Christmas tree or presents that my mama and them bought. And on that place, reason why I came back to mine is that's where me and Sharon got our first bike. We got a 10-speed. and they weren't big at that time. They weren't sophisticated like they are now. You these things costing you $500 and $600.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what George paid for it. And our first bike, and I say, we don't know how to ride no bike or whatever. He said, well, you better get out there and learn how. So me and Sharon got on them bikes and rode them up and down the street and carrying on. Never had been on a bike before in our life.
Man.
That's what stuck out to me then, staying there. And then we moved right after that. We moved on Hastings Street.
Okay.
But I was still in 5th grade.
Okay.
I didn't come out until I got out of high school and went to my job or whatever, and had a fella that I went with for 8 years.
Oh.
And I met him at the door at the skating rink. And we used to go in there, and he was taking tickets up there.
At the Strand?
That was my friend.
All right.
And I went with him for 8 years after that.
Okay. Tell me about working at Rush, because, see, I never worked in the hospital.
Rush, when I came there, they had the plug boards. You see that on TV? And I got pictures now. When I retired, they gave me pictures that they had in their archives. People had been keeping or whatever of us, and the board. There was a plug board that we had. I think I only lasted about a year or so, and then they put in a desk.
Okay.
And it had 4, they call them consults in them, and they would call you on this. Outside calls would come in, and inside calls would come in.
Okay.
And our job, we were called page operators at the beginning.
Okay.
I was a page operator, but it didn't last because they put us all together, and not only were we page operators, we were operators for the hospital. So we were their main operators.
Okay.
And we used to, as the doctors come in, they get all their names and stuff. Well, our supervisor did. Put it on this board, and as the doctors come in, they flip the board, and then if they go out, they flip it, and that's how we knew they were all, whoever was in or whatever. And the surgeons had green lights, the medical doctors had white lights, and the OB-GYN doctors had blue lights.
Okay.
And you could tell who was who as they flipped it and came in. And they had a speaker here, and you could speak, and you could page anybody over this speaker, and it go over the whole hospital.
Okay.
And that's what I did for 40 years out there.
Wow. That's something
But it
else.
changed. When I left there, they had consoles, but each year they would upgrade them. They didn't have computers then.
Oh.
They had no computers. So everything we looked up, we had books and papers and just everything. You better try to remember this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But after a while, it become a little bit easier. They got the computers and files in there that you can flip and find stuff, and it just it evolved. It got more you can do with this kind of stuff, and it wasn't so hard to find it after that. But it was rough at first.
I'm sure.
It wasn't, when I say that too, as time went along, it got bigger, the place did.
Yeah.
At one point, they had to figure themselves out. At one point, the phone company, our phone stuff, was hooked to at least 5 buildings that they had. And we had to deal with all of that. They got so big that they cut from the phone company, Illinois Bell at that time.
At the time, Illinois Bell.
They were the people that would come out and do all their phone work, their lines and their phones and everything. They got so big that they cut and got their own. And they doing their own thing today. This is where I met my husband at. He was their supervisor.
Okay, talk to me about that.
He was their supervisor. And they would take all the phones and everything, so that way these people or whatever. And it got better after that. I would say that only problem was it was so busy. It was so busy. Can you imagine trying to pick up all them phone calls?
Yeah, for 5 buildings.
This never ceases. You go do this all day, every day.
Wow. And
Picking
now you
up
just
them
hit a
phone
button.
calls. People calling in from the outside. People calling in from the inside. Emergencies.
Patients.
Operating rooms. Food service. Everybody. We picked up phone calls for all of them.
Wow. Okay, tell me about your husband. How you meet him?
I met him, he said, let me see, I had been there a while. He came there in 88.
Yeah, I graduated from high school.
That's when they said they gonna get them their own phone stuff.
Okay.
They needed some people. And so they interviewed him and a white guy. And then both of them stayed, and so he told him, what you here for? He said, I've come to apply for this job. And he said, me too. And so the white guy said, I don't know too much about this. They'll probably take you. And so, but the lady said, no, I want both of y'all. She said, we're trying to get this up off the floor, and I need help.
Okay.
And so they hired them, and they had stayed there until he left in 2000.
Oh, wow.
And I left in 2007.
Okay. You know what? What do you think? Like, okay, like with you, my mama worked for the state my whole, like, well, her whole, what, as long as I was alive, she worked for the state. You worked there for a very long time. What do you think about the way jobs do folks now? Like, everybody trying to rush and get people out the way. Like, you knew you were going to be comfortable. You knew if I can do this and I can learn this and I can continue to adjust, you were going to be comfortable. How do you what do you think about the way they do jobs now?
It's depending on the job
Mm-hmm.
and what they're doing, and it depends on the head of your people.
Mm-hmm.
If, say, like, we're operators.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody else that you want to be. Say, like, you take a job and say you got a building department, and those guys, lady work there, so and so. I don't know why they do that, but I mean, I don't want to bust nobody out or nothing like that. But they will come in and bring somebody else and say, and you say why they do that? They still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
People tell me this, that I got so and so. They hired somebody over you, and I don't know if it's black or white problem. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that I know told me that somebody got hired over them was black.
Mm.
They still doing this today.
Mm. Do they create chaos in the workplace?
What happens is it may, when you taking somebody and putting over somebody got that position, say like, what position you gonna put me in? You gonna demote me if I'm supervisor over this and you pulling somebody else in and you making them supervisor, where that leave my job? Yeah, that's gonna create a problem. And the problem comes in, I've heard them say to them before, I want you to train this person.
Mm.
I've heard that before.
Oh yeah, I've experienced that. I've trained the dude who eventually became my supervisor.
And all the people that I've known, if they're around my age, they couldn't take it. They left.
Mm.
They left. Let them do what they're going to do. How you going to bring somebody here? So now we know that you have to have two things. You have to have the paper, and you have to be the qualifications, as what I'm saying. You got to have the experience. You got to know what to do or how to come in there. That paper ain't all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's something. But you might have that paper, and you get in there, and you don't know what to do. What good is it?
Nothing.
So this is why they send to this person in that position. Well, why don't you train this person? For what? So you can put them in my job? And this is still going on.
Indeed. Like I said,
Still going on.
I've
Now,
witnessed
the only conflicts come between those two that's interacting with one another. Now, those people that working under you, they looking at you strange and saying, well, dog, if I get in any kind of position, and they might bring somebody else in over me. They're not going to say anything, though. But like you said, they preparing themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They definitely preparing themselves.
Even though it was extremely busy, like you said, most days, what type of work environment was it? Was it a lot of, I don't want to say catty behavior, but was it a lot of animosity in the office, or was it just...
No.
Okay.
No. I work with, let me see, when I came there, okay, Theodora was supervisor over in personnel.
Yeah, I was.
And she brought me there.
Okay.
And this is how things change. You could come there and talk to someone, and you could get a job. You could just walk in, and you don't have, now you can't go nowhere. You got to put online. You know that, don't you? They don't take no jobs. Every job, every place is online.
Yeah, I almost took a job online in December.
But at that time, she brought me in to the telephone room, and it wasn't all that big. It had the
board.
had the plug board, and like I say, it was just a long desk. Then when they took that down, they put the console in, and the supervisor's desk was sitting right there. And it was a white lady. Her name was Roberta, and she was older than me, and she was so nice. And we laughed and we joked a minute, and she said, "You want this job?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, you got it." Just like that. And so she said, "Let me call over here and tell Theodora, I want this lady. I want her for this job." And that's all you had to do at that time.
Right.
And nobody cared, because I'm sure that's the way they got their job too, And so I was black, another girl was black, there was an Indian lady in there, there was a German lady in there, and a Mexican. And I'm still talking to this Mexican lady today. Her name is Hope.
That's awesome. Diversity in the workplace.
She's 84 years old. I told my husband, I say, I was 19 when I came in there, and she was already 40, because she told me. And she had been working there a little bit. And she was nice as pie. We used to have parties all the time. We had birthday parties. We had Christmas parties. That's about it, and a Valentine party. But Christmas party, we always bring us something. And the Mexicans know they could cook some Mexican food. Oh, my God. And it was a nice atmosphere. It was no problem. They got along with one another. Now, what they did after that, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But once they was in that room, it was good. It was good.
Okay, you know what? Let me ask you a question about this, because when I came up, it was still kind of, it seemed like, from what I'm hearing from you, it must have did like a 40-degree change. Because by the time I came of age, you could only go to certain areas. Like you ain't spend too much time on Taylor Street between after the patio to about Taylor. Racine.
All this cutoff stuff that you're speaking of, it was like that then.
Okay.
The only reason why I'm not bringing it up because I wasn't crossing the line.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to go there. If they didn't want us there, I didn't go there.
Okay. Yeah, because I was wondering that, when did all that start?
It's like that, been like that, but it's not like that now.
Right. You go where you want to go now. You can walk
go over there. But yeah, it was like that then.
I see. That's what I was wondering. Did y'all used to go to the, stuff like the patio? Cause did y'all just go in, get what you want, and leave, or it was like, look, we going over here?
We started doing that until 90s.
Wow.
Coming through there, not being scared to come through there, as they would say. No, I don't remember even before then, or if some
is it like that? Talk to me about that part of your life, because, like you said, by the time I come of age,
well,
you can kind of go where you want.
And if you thought about it and think about it, and that part, so you need not think about it, that part was stressful, not being able to go where you want to go. So that shows you see that how people were at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, certain areas, certain people, Greeks over here, and people from this nationality over there, and whatever. At that time, they did band together, and you knew it. They talked about it.
Mm.
Yes, they talked about it. You knew it, and you wasn't gonna buck their neighborhood or their system or whatever they did.
Mm-hmm.
All you were gonna do is get yourself in trouble.
Wow. Phyllis just asked a question. What about 18th Street? What was it like on 18th Street?
18th Street was the same deal, whereas I would visit Mexican places quicker than I would on Taylor Street.
Okay.
And like I say, when my girlfriend, she used to bring stuff or tell me where to go or what to buy, whatever, she would tell me about 18th Street. I wasn't scared to go on 18th Street.
Okay, good.
I wasn't scared to go down Blue Island. They had Mexican stores or whatever, and they didn't look at you like the other people did. You know, Mexicans were a little different. No, we weren't scared to go around there, up there. Went there a lot and bought a lot of stuff there.
Okay, because, Mexican, 18th Street was always pretty nice. We used to go down to Gold Black. No, not Gold Black. Woolworth, Zemsky Brothers.
Yeah, let me bring you back to 18th Street. Back to, you know, okay, like I said, you wasn't born in, and then they moved up north. But before then, like I say, when they had the Lois and them stayed upstairs, and then around the corner there, you heard that 14th Street, and they had a tavern on the corner, and they had a shack, and across the street they had a little I don't know what you call it. It's like I wouldn't say a deli. It was like when you come in and you sit and you be served.
Diner.
You know,
it was a diner.
Well, not even. Well, sort of close to it.
I know what you're talking about. It was a little shack connected to the liquor store. I remember that.
Right there, 14th Street. When you go to 15th Street, 15th Street is the bridge. The L, whatever coming across, they're still there. You see it.
Yeah.
Costco they built right.
Yeah, Costco took over all of that.
When you go across there, before the Mexicans really moved in the area, you had the white folks. What those folks that do that dance?
The Greeks?
I don't know what they were.
Or the gypsies?
But as you go past the bridge, to your left was a hall.
Okay.
And they rented it out to the black people on Friday night. Man, did we go in there and dance in that hall. Just the black people. Now, the Mexicans didn't come down. And we were definitely in their territory, but that place was owned by these white people. I don't know what they were doing with this place or whatever, but they sure rented it out. We sure had some fun in that place. Oh, my goodness. It was just on Friday night.
Oh, wow. That's way out. Like last week, Pudgy mentioned how later on the gangs start coming in. He mentioned, a couple gangs, and he mentioned the gang that had everybody, according to him, everybody was scared. They was called the Egyptian Knights or the Egyptian somethings. You remember them?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just the disciples.
Yeah.
And what is it? God, I done forgot now. I know my two cousins was in the group on the west side, and one was called Papa and Popeye.
Okay.
They were brothers, and they were kind of running it over there. What is it? The West Side Disciples or the Southside Disciples. I don't know. At that time, we was kind of young then, but they were strong out there.
Okay.
And you couldn't do nothing without them. And that was before this group come that you were speaking of. I don't even really know them, but
the Black Peace
gangs,
Stones.
let me tell you about the gangs then.
Okay.
They were structured and they were together. That's why you hear a lot of old guys say that. And they fought, or they did what they thought they were doing to rectify the situation. So what I'm trying to say is they basically, people out of whack would be the men. You very seldom see women doing nothing, but you see all of that now. Women didn't run like that then. You didn't see. They might have had girlfriends, and I kind of take that back a little bit. They had girlfriends, and they would band together and do what they were, but they never was like those men. Those men ran it. And you wouldn't hear too much about those women unless something really happened or went down. And they were structured, and they had a code of ethics, not like now. Not drive-by shooting everybody you see. That's why everybody's dropping dead nowadays. All the grandmamas, all the mamas, all the children. They took it from them gangsters that you don't fool with family. Between me and you. That's where the gangs were then. It's between me and you. And their gangs fought each other like that. They no wives involved, no kids involved. It's been like this last 10 years, hasn't it?
No, I would actually, it start, I would say 20. Because when I was still in high school.
Shooting up everybody like that.
Because even when I was in high school, it wasn't doing that.
They did not used to do that. Not at all. Not at all. And you was proud to be in one of them gangs. You were at that time. Now you better not.
Yeah. Tell God I say it half, you join now.
Yeah, you better not. And they only fought among themselves. You ain't never heard of nobody's wife or mother or kid getting shot down. Never, ever. I never heard of that until now.
Yeah, that's a new thing.
Now
that's
that's
a new
disturbing
thing.
right there.
Indeed. So, like, you read, I've read books, and they say these gangs came about to protect the community. Is that how y'all saw
And
it?
that's what I just said. They only come up when they saw something going wrong, and then they try to, but you had to have it come in numbers. You had to have a certain amount. One or two couldn't straighten that situation out. You had to come in numbers.
Okay. Now, you touched on the 90s a little bit. You said that's when it started to deteriorate.
I thought so.
Yeah, because in the mid
when
drugs.
When did this hijacking start? I'm not really.
The carjacking started. I would say around 1992, 1991, 1992.
We just wasn't hearing a lot about it.
Yeah, we wasn't hearing a lot about it.
That's when it turned.
And because the whole crack epidemic started around 88.
Yeah, that's when it turned. And all this bad stuff out on the street and stuff. You better watch out what you take.
Yeah. It got real ugly, and that's when things start to fall apart. And from an older person's perspective, when you seeing this, what are you thinking? Because you go from shirts and ties, always wearing dresses, dressed to the nines, everybody together, and then it's like this dark cloud show up.
Well, you know what? I think God has a plan, and I'm just thinking that eventually something has got to give. I don't know what made the turnabout come about. Well, I guess they keep saying we have nothing for these kids to do. We have nothing for them to go. You haven't taught them anything. Well, okay, the family life is have turned this away. Turned it around. They weren't taught. They weren't
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that because it was that whole everybody started going in different directions. I was talking to our Aunt Harriet, and she says, she thinks like with our family. She said we started to splinter after Daddy Whitmore and Mama Esther died.
Okay.
She said we never because that was like home base, and I agree with her.
Absolutely.
That was home base.
And that can happen, and I can understand that too. She's saying you ain't gonna gather everybody back together, but you gather much as you can, or many as you can, or whatever. You try to be that best person and try to get them together like that, which some people do that. And but the people nowadays, and I see another part of it, whereas, okay, stop enabling these kids, or your kids, or somebody else's kids. Like you say, you used to be able to say something to some other kid that you shouldn't do that, but you're scared to say that to them now. But because their parents is not, they're not saying anything. They're not trying to say you need to do right or you need to listen to somebody or something. You enable them to go the wrong way instead of trying to show them what to do.
Most definitely. I think the fact
that's going on too much now.
I agree. Phyllis
and that's back to me. You know your kids, and for you to say, I know you did that, and they tell you, no, I didn't, or whatever. No, you can't go along with that. You know they did that. You need to call them out on that.
Yeah, most definitely. Like Phyllis just mentioned, that I remember when her and Alice and Bo and Eric and Lynn and Booby used to go to the social center right down the street. And it's not there. Those things are no longer, they are non-existent. And these young people, they just, like you've heard it since probably when you were a child.
So now we got twofold problems.
Right.
Your home is not together, and then you go step out your home, and you still ain't got nothing to do.
Exactly.
Twofold problem.
Yeah. Because like I was about to say, they used to say an idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Right.
And that's what it seems.
We had stuff to do, not
we
now.
had stuff to do. Yeah, it ain't nothing to do. So what else you gonna do is
but to wreck somebody else's stuff.
Exactly. You're gonna steal and try to get things that you see on television.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, it is. It truly is. And that's really the reason of doing this, because I want to have something to show that young people can access and hear about how it used to be. Because personally, they don't.
Church has been taken out of the equation too, and there needs to be some more back in that. And I know the COVID done hit us bad, but that stop you beforehand. You showing your kids what God was all about, and prayer was taken out. You need to pray some more. You need to pray real hard, because we living in a world of turmoil right now. We need to pray really hard.
Most definitely. And prayer will slow things down, like COVID did.
You think that he don't hear you, but he comes when you need it at the right time. Maybe it ain't time for him to cut them out that's out there doing that. But believe me, when he get ready, they gonna be cut out.
Yeah. I mean, he's done it. When you read the good book.
Yeah, they gonna be cut out when he get ready.
Tell me, I'm definitely a believer in prayer, because
I do too. And shoot, he have kept me, babe. He have kept me, and for me to a lot of things I have thought about, maybe want to do or whatever, and God's book is always the same. He doesn't change, and he has given us directions. And if you follow those directions, you'll be in good hands, his hands, which
Amen.
is good hands. But shoot, I may have wanted to do something or say something or whatever, and I think about his word.
and
that stops me in my tracks right then. I probably would have been hurt by now if I'd have did what I wanted to do.
Exactly. I mean, I always say we living off our grandparents' prayers. Like Mama Esther and them prayed for us, and that's what's saving us.
They
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because especially these days, everybody got this thing about I don't believe in nothing because somebody told them. They haven't experienced anything. They're not reading any spiritual texts. They're not going to church.
They don't know the word.
Exactly.
But basically, as say, you have to find out for yourself.
Say it
you
again.
You have to read for yourself. You have to experience these things for yourself. And I hope it comes to pass that these people can really believe in, there is a higher power.
It is.
I believe it is.
And I totally agree with you because I can remember, again, being at 1655 on Friday nights. We was jumping at Liberty Car Office. Got me, Lynn, Eric, Craig, Bo, and Phyllis. We were driving at Liberty Car Office. We go out to the south side to Brother Stern every Friday and go to Bible class. So it was I was too young at that time to understand what was going on, but it definitely helps me to this very day.
It helps me to this very day too. It helps me every day. I'm living longer and longer, and he didn't have to, but I'm still here.
Yeah. By the grace of God, I've done some things that I shouldn't have done. But
all of us have.
But I didn't get caught up in the mix. I never got captured by the police.
And that's what I'm saying.
Right.
And if you stop and think about it, and think about God's word, and it says, like you say, you could have got caught up, but you didn't because you thought about what he said.
Exactly. And that's what
I thinks about it all the time.
Yeah. And people like yourself and your mama and your sisters and your brothers and my uncles and the rest of the people in the 1600 block on Hastings.
Oh, absolutely.
They kept me right.
They kept it together.
Yeah,
they definitely did. And I understood where they were coming from. And you didn't act stupid or talk back or act like, they weren't standing there or whatever. You were at attention.
Yeah.
You understood. What I'm saying to you, you need to listen.
Exactly. And not say a word.
You need to listen.
And it really touched me. It let me know that I raised my son right. Me.
Okay.
One time I lived in this townhouse. We used to share a back porch with this lady, and she jumped in my son's face for no reason. She was wrong. This was not a good person. But and I was in the kitchen. She didn't know I was in the kitchen.
She didn't know you heard her, huh?
She jumped in my son's face, and all he said was, okay. And
but
then
see, he was taught.
He was taught. And he didn't know I was in the kitchen, and she didn't know I was in the kitchen. He walked in the house. I didn't do nothing. I just told him, be quiet. And then I closed the door, and I said...
understood, And that's a good thing. And we were taught that way. And I taught my daughter, Candace, she's 42. And believe me, she does like everybody else. She cusses. She drinks, and occasionally, like people do, she don't run around a lot. But far as saying and people doing things and saying stuff, she is really easygoing because she has learned that you just can't jump up and say what you want to say and say it to anybody. And she have said to me, "Oh, if I wasn't taught this, I'd have been and cussed them out." And I said, I know it. I know what you're saying. I know what you're going through. I said, but you weren't taught like that, know?
Exactly.
And I say, ugly don't do nothing but bring more ugly.
Oh, no doubt.
So you could just leave that alone. Let them be ugly by themselves.
Yeah, and that's
had and on easy, people, I understand that people have used the word. I hadn't heard it off and on and so long. They take your kindness for your weakness. So, like I said, when I was at the first job, my job coming there, and those different people were, my supervisor was a white lady, and she was a German. Her name was Bertha Guaz. And one day, we were working a weekend. I worked with this Indian lady and another lady, and the Indian lady got smart, and I'm being all of 19, 20 years old. And I said, what is this lady talking to me like this for? and I was saying to her, she was telling me to do something, and I said, no, wasn't no supervisor there. We all working the same. I said, no, I'm not doing nothing. I said, you don't tell me how to work this, what to do. She turned around, this is the Indian lady. She said, what are you talking to me for? You just shut up. You just shut up. So I told her, you just shut up. I couldn't hold it no more. And I say, I'm grown just like she is. You need to shut up yourself. So that was weekend. The supervisor come to me the Monday, Tuesday. She said, I hear you and Betty got into it over the weekend. I said, oh, they told you that. I say, well, it wasn't no big thing. I say, she's not my supervisor trying to tell me what to do. And so you know what the lady said to me? She said, you don't need to explain to me. She said, I know what kind of person you are. And I know that if anything happened, she started.
Exactly.
And I won't say myself, and I finished it. And then I just went on, you know what I'm saying? And I just went on. And she said, don't even worry about it. We won't even bring this up again.
See, and that's something else that the young people don't have. They don't have the intestinal fortitude. Well, they don't have the ability to create a track record. And once you establish your character, whatever happens, people understand who you are.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And I hadn't been there 2 years or so, and already this lady never said a word to nobody. How this lady she said, I said, that lady gonna talk down to me and tell me to shut up. I said, she's not my boss. She said, oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah. And again, society has taught these young people that everything we're obligated to give it to you. And I want your opinion on this. Why? One of the things that our young people, like I said, they think they're obligated and they don't have to work hard for anything. How do you think we could correct that? They're entitled.
The only correction is I don't know how to change a person that's of a certain age.
Okay.
Say, to get them some training or put them in this or that or show them some kind of different than what they're doing. But this comes from little on up.
Okay.
I believe it comes from the family on up.
Mm-hmm. So, in your opinion, what we have to do to make our
Start
community
out when they little. It's hard breaking these big kids now. It is so hard.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's been hard because Marcus Garvey says it's easier to fix a small bush than a big tree.
Yes.
So,
and we all know that it starts at these homes. These homes are so broken. So broken. I understand that it's hard for those ladies to make it. But it ain't hard to talk and still, you may not have nothing to eat. You may not have the best place to stay in. You may not have the best clothes in. But talk to your children. Talk till you can't talk no more.
Yeah. And like y'all used to do, bust up some side the head if you're talking about
well,
that.
you could do that then, but now you basically you're gonna have to talk.
Yeah.
Talk without ceasing.
Well, you know what, Bonnie? We've been on 90 minutes.
Have we now?
Yes, indeed. And I want to thank you for coming on here. Simply because, for one, I want to thank you for giving me your time. And you are welcome to come anytime you think about coming back on. I'm going to tell LaFawn to give you...
If it's something else that we need to talk about...
Man, you can come on. You can come on every week if you want to.
Talk about something different,
Yeah. Please. I want to ask you this. At some point when this COVID thing let up, I want all of us to get back together like we used to. We got to find a home base. Like 1655 was our original home base. We got to get another one.
All right.
And I want the people who listen to me to do the same with their families. But I have been all over the country. Been to Canada, Mexico. I've been been a bunch of places. But my best memories are on 74th and Ada and on 1655 West Hastings. And I need to get that back. The fact that my children, I got a picture at your house because you live on a cottage, like a 200 in college, 197th in college, something like that, right?
Yeah, now.
I got a picture.
I live there now.
Yeah, I got a picture with me, my daughter, and her mama at your house. I was big as a house at that time. But
what was we having at that time?
I don't know. We was trying to get it back together. We was trying to get like the Blues Brothers.
When I first moved here, I moved here in 204.
So that it had to be that time because my daughter.
That. And you know what? I have had people come from everywhere. My husband worked at the teletype place out in Skokie. And it closed, and they were giving dinners, and I have talked to so many people, and I have given parties, and they have come like barbecues and stuff like that, and I have people come from everywhere. They were so nice. Oh my goodness!
Yep.
I have met so many people.
Yeah. I mean, I got a picture, and I want to make some more
I
pictures.
can't believe that. Anybody come here is welcome. They always gonna come back. If I have something, they coming.
Phyllis just said Ree was her favorite aunt.
Okay.
I'm telling you,
And you know, she had stuff like that at her house.
Yes.
And she would always, and they would come. They would come so much that she told us and everybody, and all the friends would come, and everybody would come along with them. And she said, tell your friends that I don't have no company at my house until after 11 o'clock. She did that later on because they would come so much and so many people. And if you can find somebody, you come to my mama's house. They would be there, or they going to come there.
I mean,
and she always had people there. So now they start coming to my house.
Okay.
So LaFon say she come and she eats dinner with me on Sunday.
Okay.
And I say, I don't know if she said, am I bothering you or something? I said, girl, no. I say, I guess this is the place now. I say, you can come anytime you get ready. I don't care when it is or what time it is. You are always welcome.
Amen.
Here.
Amen.
So they all come here. My daughter, her kids, everybody comes here. And if they want it, they better call up and say, I'm coming.
Well, I'm going to need you to make me one of them sweet potato pies like your mom used to make. That's all I'm talking. That's what I'm talking.
I can't get rid of Shamil. He calls every other day. So she think I'm her mama, and Candace say, that's your second daughter.
Uh-oh.
I ain't going to be mad about it, but I know that's your second daughter right there.
Well, I'm finna be your first son if you make me that sweet potato pie, because your mama used to get down on them sweet potato pies. That's all I'm saying. Ooh.
And she would cook just sweet potatoes in the pot. Now, I cook them for them kids, and I don't have LaFon and all them, they eat up the sweet potatoes. And she would fix it, and every time they say, what you gonna bring? Girl, bring me a pot of sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
And she would bring a pot of sweet potatoes to church every time they have something.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I remember. So
she
we got
cook them sweet potatoes, but I learned how to cook them.
Yeah. All the women in my family can cook. Y'all, my daddy people. If you kin to me, you can cook.
Yeah, okay.
Richard wife can cook.
Oh yeah.
Richard wife. Everybody kin us can cook.
Everybody, I know it.
Like Phyllis just said, caramel cakes. Yeah.
Whatever. I know it. I heard that.
So
we didn't get this size for nothing. For nothing.
And
hey.
The last time we all got together was it was either Shamil. It was at Spring's house. I think it was Shamil's birthday about maybe 5 years ago, because Bo was just got married or was about to get married.
Did you come up there on 35th Street
Yeah,
down,
right
down there?
on Lake Park. I was there.
Yeah, that for Shamil.
I was there.
Boy, you should see the tape I got on my phone.
Okay.
They were partying and dancing.
I was
had
there.
another one right after that. We gave it for
Is that when Renee bought a house?
Who?
Is that when Renee bought a house?
Renee bought a house after that.
Okay.
After that, we gave one more. We went to Candace's house.
Okay.
And she had a Halloween party for the kids, and then we had one more party after that. It was Shamil's birthday, LaFon's birthday, and Renee's birthday. Renee on the 27th of January.
Okay.
And Shamil's on the 30th of November. And we had a party that day.
Well, get my number from LaFon.
Okay, we had a party then.
And I'll be at the next party.
All right. I forgot you all was up there.
Yeah, I was there.
That was a nice spot, wasn't it?
That was a very nice spot.
Mm-hmm. Spring's girlfriend, Carolyn, had a condo in that building.
Okay.
And she was able to rent that space out for her.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
You know, that's like their rec room or whatever.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
And they only rented it to the people that lived there.
Okay.
But her girlfriend was able to get that place for her.
I had a
It
ball.
was a nice place. I liked it myself.
It was good to see everybody, and I just think we need to get it back.
Yeah, I like
We need
that.
to do it again.
And Bo come with her husband.
Right. I rode with Bo and her husband.
Okay. I remember that.
Oh yeah.
I do remember that.
Yep. So we got to get back together.
All right. I do
know-
remember that now.
Yeah, I reach out to Spring and Booby with scripture every morning.
Dude, that's so
Well,
nice.
excuse me, LaFon. I won't get beat
LaFon,
up. I
okay.
won't get beat up.
I call her LaFon too. And I had to get used to calling her Booby, but everybody called her that, even the people at the church. And I just, my husband has I don't like nicknames.
Okay.
I tell people that all the time. And my husband, nephew. Now you know I've been married now for 20-some years. His nephew, and he calls him Bay Brother. I hate that. His name is Arthur. And I will say Arthur, and he said, okay. I don't like that.
Okay, LaFon. Because I don't want to get beat up by you now.
I would call her Booby. Babe Ruh just did not stick with me. It just did not.
Well, I got to meet Arthur, and I got to get reacquainted.
I don't know why they did that, because his sister, he calls her baby sister. Not me. Not me.
You are definitely a Whitmore. You gonna do it
I don't like nicknames.
You gonna do it the right way, or you ain't gonna do it.
No, you're going to do it at all. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the way I do most things, you know, even when I cook or clean up or whatever, and I look at it and I say, I want it like this.
Yeah, trust me. Your cousin was the same way.
Really, I want it like this.
And that was the same way. My
Yes,
mama,
okay.
my mama
Gotta have
favorite
it that
line, her favorite line was, "Don't halfway do nothing."
All right. And I got her. We all went to school together.
So, see, Phyllis be saying she OCD. I told Phyllis, nah, that's just the way she was.
And I do the same way. I have, and those ladies at my job, and they used to come around, and you know, I didn't have no kid then, and they would say, I said, I'm going home to clean up. She said, clean up for what? She said, girl, ain't nothing wrong with your place. Why are you cleaning up?
Yeah.
She said, everything you got in the spot where you left it at. And I said, well, I just clean up. I clean up, take everything down and clean it up and then put it back.
Hey, Bonnie, that's your cousin, Phyllis.
Oh, she does that too.
Boy, you can
I
see.
take everything down and clean it up.
You might be able to pick out your hair on Phyllis' wall because it's that clean.
And those girls used to tease me all the time. Clean up what?
Phyllis and that.
And you asking them clean up what, huh?
Phyllis will walk in your house and as a matter of fact,
And find something, huh?
when I was living on the west side, I just moved off Monroe. Phyllis came over my house. She said, next time I come here, I'm going to clean up.
Oh, no.
What?
What you tell her? That's my house.
I'm cool, Phyllis. No.
that's
You
my
see this right here? We was at Rita's house in the basement. Phyllis looking up at cobwebs on pipes.
Oh, no.
They need to clean this. So yeah, that's what they.
What
That's
you
what.
tell her? This is my house, huh?
It's my house. I almost spilled some on the floor.
Oh, my goodness.
She'd have lost her mind.
Where
She
it be
spilled some.
like that? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
I love it.
Everybody do what they do, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you again.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
And again,
pleasure.
maybe I can
When
get.
things come to mind, I say it when I think about it, and a lot of things didn't escape me, but it might come to me later on.
Hey, if it comes to you get my number from LaFon.
Okay.
And please come back. We got I had Pudgy on, and maybe you and Pudgy come on here and remember some of the good old days. We're gonna try.
Right.
I'm gonna try to pressure Richard. He watching. Try to pressure Richard to get on.
Richard won't come on, will he?
Nah, he too cool for school. Yeah, and I said it. But he gonna call last week.
Richard, why you keep to yourself like that?
No, we ain't got. Me and Richard hang out all the time.
Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, Candace bought a car
Okay.
at the place where Richard worked at.
Yeah, he retired. He said he retired from the state, and now he
We
retired from there.
called there, like August or whatever.
Yeah, he been
and
gone.
they said, oh, he don't work here no more. I said, oh, Shamil, he don't work there no more.
Well, he
But
knows
we
some
had the
guys.
card and everything.
He knows some guys because last time we hung out, me, Christian, because you say you don't like nickname, read the
Well,
son,
I'm gonna
Christian.
have to get your number, get his number, because I didn't get his number. All I got is his card. And if he knows somebody and I go back out there, I might want to buy another car.
Okay, he definitely knows some guys because the last time I was out there, me, Christian,
Yeah, we called.
and-
And they
and-
said,
and,
he's not here anymore. I say, what?
the
I
people.
could have been and got his number, but I didn't want to bother him. We were going for a car.
You know, he don't even stay down the street from me. He moved a little
Oh,
further
where
west.
you moved to now?
A little further west.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So, but
He
I'm
bought
out there
another
all
house.
the time. If he not watching, he might be watching the Bulls game. He'll watch it later. But I definitely tell him to reach out to you.
Okay.
And
he bought another house.
he said it got too. He said it got too crazy over there.
It did. No doubt. We just lucky that we found the place where we can stick in. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's real nice over here.
Yeah. I've been to your house. It's very nice. As a matter of fact,
it is still like the neighborhood is still like that.
I was telling somebody
So I'm glad.
yesterday I want a house that looked just like yours.
And
I'm
the
telling you.
neighborhood is just so nice. You know what I'm saying? And the same people. They ain't moved since I've been here.
Amen. That's the way it need to be. That's the way it
Yeah,
always
amen.
should be. That's the way it
Well,
should
okay, dear.
All right.
It's good talking to you.
be. It's always a pleasure to talk to my family.
Yeah. I didn't think we had nothing to talk about.
I know we did.
I just said, LaFern, what am I going to say? She said, say anything.
Hey, I need you back. I need Pudgy back. I need Richard. I'm gonna ask Spring. We're gonna get Renee on here. If you got some friends, I want Alice to come.
Now, they can tell you some jokes. Spring and Renee. I bet you.
I'm gonna pressure Alice to
Spring
get some of
hit
her
all the
sisters.
sets.
I'm gonna get Judy
She
Glenn.
hit all the sets, too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She can tell you.
We gonna be.
Maybe Spring could be the next one.
Spring.
But she's in the midst of trying to move right now.
Okay.
So you probably won't get to her till after she move. I'll let you know.
Okay. Cool. Me and Spring talk all the time. Talk all the time.
She busy.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
definitely busy.
Now, if you got any friends that like to talk, tell them to call me. We can talk.
Okay, then.
I promise.
See what they talking about.
Okay. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Okay, you
All right.
too.
And I want to thank you guys for tuning in as y'all do every Friday. I'll be back next week with somebody. I don't know if they're going to be equally good as my cousin. We cousins. But somebody. They're going to be all right.
I can tune in and hear.
Yes, indeed. I will. I'll have LaFon send you the link. It's a different link every week. I'll have LaFon send it to you.
Okay, that's what I need.
Yes, indeed. And then you can
and
watch.
I can tune in.
You can tune in. You can comment. You can do everything.
Okay, then. You have to do that.
All right. And I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. And as I say every week, I want you to dream your dreams and man up and woman up and live those dreams, because life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in technicolor, surround sound. I get inspiration from these people that I watch all the time, and these people are the aforementioned the Ghetto Boys podcast, Tariq Nasheed, Nori Talib Kweli, Ray Grady, Zoe Williams, Corey Holcomb, Craig Smith, Al Sharp, Heather B, Clay Kane, Laurie Daniel Favors, Greg Carr, Dr. Greg Carr, Professor Karen Hunter, and Elder Joe Madison. Okay. And as I say every week, I say this every week, cousin. I say
that's your inspiration.
That's my inspiration. I tell the people, if I owe them something, I ain't got it, and if they need it, get it from God.
We lust for that cheese, we lose sleep, dreams of that cream. We killing our teams, they down for this American dream. Them government schemes, they turning us to hustlers and fiends. We hustling trees, the politicians smuggling green. Chasing that cheese, got everybody stressed in the streets. Pardon me for speaking freely, let it breathe. Evangelists preach the congregations out of their seats. They writing them checks for cars now, as people can't eat. She stripping for change for school, now she giving them brain. She used to that loot, she earning, now she giving them strain. He new to this game, but hungry, so he cooking his cane. He getting that paper, but then they gave him tools to the brain. There's rules to this game, but hustlers never hustle for fame. The spirit of greed is grimy, so we struggle to change. They put us in chains and take away our African names. But if we submissive and don't resist, then who do we blame? It's all a game, man. These Europeans thinking they claim that you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't, you thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang? Killed our women and our children, all our leaders is slain. They gave us Obama, but that nigga was hoping for change. But Zimmerman is killing niggas and he free. Shit is crazy, babies having these babies and getting checked. But keep the child from they pop to rip his heart out his chest. Our rappers was leaders and now they in the booth and the dress. Spitting bullshit and making more, but giving us less. They taking our sound and changing ours, dumbing it down. They taking our jobs and homes and they shutting us out. They taking our kids because it ain't a man in the house. They locking us down, but soon they gon' be wiping us out. They told our women they was too independent to need a man. Told our brother he was too insignificant to advance. It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim. And you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't. You thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang. Killed our women and our children. All our leaders is slain. It's all a game.
We are built for this network, for the strong, not the weak.
What are you wrong? Hey. Hey, man, didn't I tell you about them gangs that everybody be tripping on?
Hold on, man. Hold on. Can you read up?
That ticking? Oh. I thought that was ticking.
Standing ovation, man. What a
Thank
shit,
you.
bro. I could listen to that lady all night long, man.
Yeah, man. I be telling my, I told my aunt, our aunt. See, that's my mama's first cousin.
Okay.
And I be telling them, look, man, the stuff that you done forgot, we don't know you forgot it. So if you just talk about what you got, we amazed.
That was great, man.
And hey, thank you, man. Thank you. Hey, did I tell you about them games though, man? She bought up the game stuff. Right.
Not even buying some children and whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, man. I see exactly what you're saying.
See, we keep letting the governance structure interfere with how we perceive ourselves. And that's why we think we crazy. How you gonna listen to somebody who hate Rated Kev? Hey man, I can't stand that motherfucking Rated Kev. Well, let me tell you about him. You can't tell me shit about Rated Kev. You just said you hate him.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Exactly. Yeah, man. And what amazed me, man, about her was that the way she spoke, man. You can see, she was, educated. She just the way that she spoke, man, was just, it was, I don't know, man, it was just another, I don't know, man. It's like she had pride in herself, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just the way she carried herself, man, was fantastic, man. Fantastic.
Man, I'm glad. I knew this was gonna be a hit. Remember when I first told you about it?
Yeah.
I said, man, we need these stories told.
Right.
Yep.
Because think about it, this another thing too. So the places y'all were talking about, I have no clue, right?
Right.
I have no time to Chicago, but it was I was able to relate.
Yes.
To the stories. You know what I'm saying? I was able to get it. Man, that was great. Man. That was great. I'll tell you something else too, man. That you told me, and it wasn't that I believe you. It just got confirmation how segregated Chicago is.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Because I put in the chat, she said it was basically like in the 90s, late 80s when you was able to do.
Yeah, man.
And man, when I was, basically, I was like in the late 70s. You wouldn't go into a country bar because you didn't know how to be there.
Right.
Listen to country music. So it wasn't that you couldn't go in there. You just didn't go there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We couldn't go.
Yeah, it was segregated because you didn't like that music or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to go into a bar, just go to the bar.
Right. You heard her say, Greeks is over here, these over there, this is over there. I'm telling you, man. And see, that's why when people say, man, this getting crazy in Chicago, I'll be like, man, your ass wasn't aware. You lived in your own little bubble, so you thought you could go somewhere. You took your ass over there, hey man, it's still part of the Chicagoland area, because they call Chicago. In the suburbs, they call it Chicagoland. It's still part of the Chicagoland area. If your ass is this color and you take your ass there, you better have a purpose. You ain't you just hanging out. How long the fuck you hanging out? Police will ask you that. How long the fuck you hanging out? And you're like, nah, I'm just going to visit somebody. Okay. Don't be all, they ain't gonna tell you. Now they gonna tell you because there's other stuff that come along with it. It's bullshit that white boy in the black neighborhood, you over here buying dope, nigga? Fuck you doing over here? This ain't where you belong.
And they was serious about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I mean about it,
I'm telling you, man. And you saw, she said, yeah, we used to venture out south. Not go out south, venture. And you even heard her say some of the stuff that I be saying, out west. That's why, remember when Big L said, the whole thing with me and Big L, man, I've asked several people. I asked people as recently as weeks ago. Hey, as a matter of fact, my boy Stacy, I said, Stacy, Stacy was from the west suburbs. Where you from, Stacy? He said, out west. I said, then, once you get to know him, he said, I'll tell him, Maywood. I know, Big L gave me his address, dog. I told him, I said, this one dude gave me his address. He said, his address? He said, that motherfucker ain't from Chicago. I'm telling you. Dude, don't nobody from Chicago give you their address. Unless you got some nice titties. You ain't giving no dude your address. I told him, man. What's all these questions for, homie? And Stacy even told about something that I wasn't thinking about. He said, I'll tell you what neighborhood I live in. He said, like, I'll tell you K-Town. But I ain't gonna say I live. Man, I still remember that. See, that's how unique it was. Hell. I still remember 5912 South Bishop. That's how, what the fuck that was. Like, nigga, you gave me your address? Who does that? Right. Because even that day he was crying on Raiders for Life show. So motherfuckers told me I ain't from Chicago. First of all, if you was really from Chicago, couldn't nobody get you to cry about. Because it'll be fuck you, motherfucker. I know where I'm from. Yeah, right. That's right. Right, like, nigga, you ain't from New Iberia. I'm like, what? Man, shut the fuck up talking to me. That's what you were talking. Like, how the fuck you know where I'm from? That's the next thing coming out of somebody's mouth. Man, how the fuck you know where I'm from, nigga? This nigga, he on there crying about his dad. And then the little crying about your dad, you got to reaffirm, and you don't even know if I'm listening, that you from Chicago. Man, please. This motherfuckers be saying I ain't from Chicago. Hey, nigga, we don't cry about our fucking neighborhoods in Chicago. Yeah, hey. Yeah. Like my cousin Kurt, you a band. I'm folks like, what's a band? A bitch ass nigga. I was like, man, this nigga. First of all, nigga, I'm not on that crime. You know, I done seen D Gray get kind of emotional at times, but it was about some serious shit. Not go, don't tell me I ain't from Compton. You tell D Gray he ain't from Compton. Like, fuck you, man. Or South Central, or whatever, you know, whatever. Shit. I'm from LA, motherfucker. That's where I'm from. And then people kill me. Hey, D Gray, how you from LA? Because when he was coming of age, the Rams left. The Rams said, fuck LA, so he said, fuck the Rams. Yeah. Right. night born on the same day. What's the chances on that? Yeah, man. Man, that was a different type of day. When you see it, I rattled off everybody in the block, man. And Mr. Craig's. And Felicia and Pig, I don't even know their last name, but they was the two cute girls in the neighborhood. Pig was the big, sexy one. Felicia was down on good time. Felicia was just fine. Now Pig, Felicia got pregnant by Bobby. And her sister Pig got pregnant by this dude named Ruck. Man, I'm telling you, man, everybody in that neighborhood is damn near kin now. That's why, like if I get Margot to come on, first thing she gonna say, "How you doing, nephew?" Cause that's my Aunt Margot. Can't nobody tell me shit. She ain't my mama friend. Like Big Illinois. Big Illinois, my brother. He been my brother. Cause I remember one time, Big Illinois got a brother 2 years older named Keith. Keith saw this dude named Kiel talking shit to me. He said, "What's up, little bro?" And I said, "Man, this nigga talking crazy." He got out of his car. Now Keith about 6'1", but he about 330. But he ain't fat. He 330 of muscle. He about 280 now, but it's muscle. And he got out the car. He said, "Hey, man, why you fuck with my little brother?" Big Illinois was standing there. And Kiel was like, "How you fuck with Ant?" He said, "That's my little brother too." He said, "If you fuck with him, I'm gonna beat your ass." Now, Big Illinois and them family, they was notorious for fighting the police. And I'm talking about fist fighting. It wasn't no arguments with the police. Police say something, Big Illinois brothers and uncles didn't like. Ernest was beating their ass. Ernest was like, "What you say to me?" Then it's a fight. Ernest used to, "Man, take that badge off, I'll beat your ass." And they yeah, all right. And that motherfucker be getting the shit beat out of him 10 minutes later. Ernest used to beat this shit. God rest his soul, used to beat the shit out of the police. And I'm telling you, man, when Big Illinois brother, his son wasn't around for a long time, he started coming around. He ain't know me. His name is Mark Jr. He's like, "Look, Mark, say what's up to your Uncle Brian." And that boy had never seen me before. This y'all brother? He said, "Hell yeah, that's our brother." He told that to his son. That felt good, man. Yeah, man.
My grandmother, who I told you that was real strict.
Yeah.
Her daddy, man, that was the coolest man I knew, man.
Woo.
That dude was cool, man. Always dressed to the nine. You always saw him in a suit.
Oh yeah, them old dudes done play that shit, that dress down shit.
Any random day, he had a suit. And he used to just talk, tell stories, man. He used to work downtown New Orleans. And he used to tell me these stories, man, just with me blowing my mind. And that's why I could appreciate that conversation, man, because it just reminded me of him, you know, and how he used to tell stories and, you know, it was just crazy back then, man.
Hey, I'm finna put you on the phone with my aunt, cause I'm gonna try to get her punk ass on next week. But I want you to tell her how good it was. One second.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she ain't answer. She must be out. Yeah, but yeah, man. She next. She up next. I'm trying to get my Uncle Richard on, her brother, Margot, Berna, Judy. I'm telling you, man. We finna have some stories. It's finna be story time. Man, I'm glad y'all enjoy. I knew people would enjoy this, man. Man, I'm glad that, man. But see, not to pat myself on the back, but I knew, see, these stories need to be heard, and hopefully it's going to inspire people to get back together. See, we done got grown and separated, man. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Niggas. Niggas. Yeah. We so busy caught up trying to win that we losing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but the world, we so caught up in being our own people, man. This how I get down. No, this is how we get down. I'm watching these highlights of Troy Aikman. I used to really be a Troy Aikman fan. I used to really be a Troy. You know what pisses me off about the Cowboys? When he fired Jimmy Johnson. Man, he ruined. That's the. I hate to say this. What I'm about to say. Hold on 1 second. This broad is getting on my mouth. Oh, this is my aunt. 1 second. Hey, what's happening? Ah, damn! I hung up on him. Damn. She gonna call back or something, cause she trying to call me back now. Cause I keep getting voicemail. Hold on 1 second. I got man, goddamn. Oh, she called. I called her. She called. Oh, that was the mobile they called. me try one more time and see what happens.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm about to call you back, man. Janice called me. She want to talk.
Okay.
She want to talk about what happened today with work, man.
Okay, cool.
I'll tell you about that later on.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Hey, homie. Hello, Catherine.
Hey, I don't know what's going on with these raggedy phones over here.
Hey, your presence is requested
My presence is requested.
on Rapping with HRap. Back-to-back weeks, Bonnie and Pudgy said, when is Rita and Richard getting on here?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So get your act together, Catherine.
So when?
Fridays at 6 p.m.
Fridays at 6.
Yeah. Cause don't you do Zoom meetings on your computer?
Yeah.
It's the same like Zoom. I email you the link. You just click the link and just sit there and wait.
Oh, okay.
And then if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God. That's how I end all my shows. If I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God. So when is you gonna be available? And Judy and Margot and Miss Fitch, y'all could, but we ain't doing that. That ain't what this is. We can do individual shows, then we can do a gang show. Nah. We got to tell the Rita story. Then we got to tell the Margot story, and Berna story, and Judy story, and then we can tell the gang story. Cause Rita, cause Rita got stories that they ain't involved with. Hey, Bonnie was supposed to be on for 30 minutes. It ended 90 minutes later. Bonnie was only supposed to be on for 30 minutes. Next thing you know, it was 90 minutes later, and Bonnie was still talking. Pudgy was supposed to be on for 30 minutes. 2 hours later, Pudgy was still talking.
2 hours?
Yeah, I'm telling Rita, all I'm doing, like, okay, watch this. This is how I start every show. Okay, let me tell you the premise of the show first and foremost. I don't do sports no more. I do community empowerment, and then I do a panel show on Thursday, and then I do Rapping with HRap, where I talk about your life. That's why I want to do you and Berna and Margot and Judy, and then we can all do the all four show, because y'all got stories together. But the premise is, people don't, the very thing that's me and you and my mama and we just set up and talked about, like, you don't know, we don't know nothing. And I talked to Harry, she's scared. She's scared because she don't want to sound like she getting old. And I didn't want to pressure her. But even Harry said, we don't know nothing about no diseases. Harry said, we got family in California that's lawyers and professors at universities, and she don't even know them. But the thing is, people in the world don't know. Rita graduated from high school in 1970, but don't nobody know what was on Rita's mind in 1970, 1975, 1965, or whatever it was. But you know, I start off the show by saying, what's your oldest and most fond memory? Like Bonnie started off late in life. She said, man, I got too many to just pick one, but getting out of high school and Aunt Goo get me a job at Rush. And next thing you know, she kept talking and talking and talking. She talked about going to the Key Largo, the 1815 club, her getting her first car, driving around the city, when they used to live in Cape Town. Then they lived in the 1800 block on Hastings. living, you know, going back to Mama Esther. She brought up Mama Esther, Daddy Whitmore. How Daddy Whitmore bought her high school graduation dress. After Reed told her, yeah, go ahead and ask him. Then, like, cause he said Reed was like, you gonna ask who? Well, go ahead, like, he wasting that breath, and he bought it for her. I think he used to call Sharon Mae West. So it's just your individual memory. So cause I'm gonna get her and Spring on there, and her, Spring, and Booby on there together. So that's why I say it ain't that I don't want y'all on there, cause that's even better. Cause now y'all talking about the good old days, but I'm on Rita on there. Talk about Rita's good old days. I'm on Burner. Man, if you could get Miss Fitch on there. You know how much information Miss Fitch got in her head?
Yeah, Lord.
And people need to hear that. And it was people, and believe it or not, Rita, it's people all over the earth listening to my shows. I got people in Asia listening, China listening, Uzbekistan, India, Australia, South America, Canada, all over the world listening to me. And then basically it's showing young people, this is how we used to get down, and it's showing black people that this ain't 1920 that y'all talking about. Y'all talking about the 60s and the 70s.
Right.
So yeah, that's so I do want to get all y'all on there, but I want to get individuals on there. And like I don't want to make Harry think I was trying to pressure her. She's like, I can't remember a lot of stuff. Whatever you can remember, tell it. Because we all used to sit at you. I'm quite sure you used to talk to my master about the good old days or something. Talk to your mama, and I ain't start talking to my mama till she was finna die. I'm talking about. Do you know I ain't asked my mama one question about my daddy until she was about to die? Not one question, Rita.
Really?
Not one question. 2010, we talked about my daddy a lot, but I found out how he died right next to her. And I'm like, I don't nobody want to talk about that no more. You know, but she said, you could have been asking me. So I want your grandkids and now your great grandson to be the one day pull up my show and be like, that's my great grandmother. And that's her life story.
Oh, that would be nice, though, Brian.
That's the point. That's why I say I want all y'all on here, but I want all y'all individually on here. And then we could do the game, because Margot grandkids gonna find out stuff about Margot. Berner grandkids gonna, Judy grandkid. Everybody need. That's what I'm saying. And I had my man on here from my man Al Lewis from Tennessee. He about your age. He took us back to the 1800s, Reed.
That's what I'm gonna do when I talk.
They,
I'm gonna tell you about your own lineage.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like I say, what's your oldest and most fond memory, Rita? And then you might bring up something when you was 5, 6 years old. Okay, what's the music? Like I asked Bonnie, what's the music like? She went to holler at the Motown people. Like I know you love James Brown. And we don't, hopefully, people get to hearing this and they get to have family reunions and cookouts again. And then they want to ask you, so you said such and such and this and that. Well, tell me about that, because now your grandkids, your kids, you ain't never told me that, Mom. Well, I ain't never had no place for it. And you know what? I really want to hear, like Al told us about the pain. The pain and suffering.
Oh, okay.
As black people, we hide that because you don't want your kids to know it, but that's why these hunkies win, because they tell their kids, and then they did this to us, and we ain't never gonna let it happen again. And then it's over. That's why, and you see these crackers steady trying to not let us tell about our past. We got to. We have to tell about our past, because don't nobody, look, I read this book by this man named Ubate Pot. He said every time one of your elders transition, it's like a library getting burnt to the ground.
It is.
Yep. So, man, look at all the stuff that's in Miss Fitch here. I got Reverend Dodd coming on. I got Reverend Dodd II coming on. I'm telling you, anybody who you know who want to talk Tell them to call me and they on. And it ain't no, well, you know, I don't got but 30 minutes. Okay, give me 30 minutes. And then, cause that's what everybody say. I only got 30 minutes, Brian. Cause they thinking that they don't know what it is. And once they start talking, it's 2 hours later. And Bonnie said, if I think of something else, can I come back? Her and Puck. I said, yeah. Yes. See, he ain't even talk about that. Watch this. I'm finna blow your mind right here, Rita. I didn't know Uncle Elmer was Pudgy daddy. I found that out on that show. I remember Elmer and Lois. Right. But this what I said. This is what I said. Like I told him on the show. I said, hey, Pudgy, let me tell you something. I always thought you was a super cool guy. I said, but I looked at you and said, he either a Pollard or he a Cotton. Because the Whitmore's too light for him. And Richard called in that show. Yeah. And they brought up Jasper. And neither one of them can figure out how Jasper can us. Right. Okay, see, they didn't know that. Because they was like, his name ain't Jasper, his name Jabbo. Yeah, no, he said, he called in to say, because Pudgy was telling a funny story about Richard, and Richard called in, he said his name ain't Jasper, it's Jabbo, and they fell out. I'm telling you, Rita, you gotta do it. I'm telling you, Rita, you gonna start talking and everything gonna come back and you're gonna be like, good Lord, it's been 2 hours. Yeah. I'm glad you're doing it. Yeah, thank you. Cause I'm glad you're doing it. Yeah, I'll be willing to do it. You wanna do it next week? No, I will call you Wednesday. No, I'll call you Wednesday to remind you about Friday. Okay. Put D on there. I want D on there. I'm telling you, I want everybody y'all can find. If you know somebody, if this nigga was nothing but a wino, I want the wino on. If y'all can bring your hoe on, for real, I'm just saying. It's just so many stories over there. Bonnie told us about George John throwing a real big cookout every year. And Johnny was like, you know, our family was kind of bougie, but they was acting funny until they got over there and started eating that food. And she said after that, we couldn't keep them niggas out the cookout. And she talked about how I'm telling you, it's online. You can find it. I'll send it to you. Pudgy and Bonnie. What Bonnie said about Ree? Oh, well, you know what she did? She talked about Ree a little bit. She talked about George a little bit. She mostly talked about high school, the good old days, hanging out and partying, hanging out with my mama, cause it's Sharon, my mama, and then her. And she, I'm telling you, she was telling, that's why I said I don't want to do a group one first. I want to do you, I want to do Berna, I want to do Mongo, Lord willing, Miss Fisher do it, Judy, and then y'all come on there as a group and read it. And when I end the show, everybody in the chat room, this was awesome. I could listen to this all night. Yeah, I'm telling you, I got people all over the country. Fly Ty from Kentucky, Kale from Texas, D Great from LA, cause his name DeMarcus Great, we call him D Great. Vern Ricks is from Atlanta. My man Knox from Jersey, and we got people all over. I got people in Boston, Chicago, everywhere. trust me. Hey, Rita, I promise you. I'm just gonna ask you, what's your oldest and most fond memory? And then, when you tell me what it is, we going from there. You know, what was your favorite? What was your music you was listening to? Bonnie talked about the clothes that people used to wear. How you can only go to high school and wear pants, and when you got to school, you had to take your pants off and have your dress on.
Yeah, you can wear pants.
Yeah. And see, it ain't, see, Rita, y'all, you and Harry overthinking it. It ain't about, it's like Seinfeld. It's about nothing. But it's about everything at the same time. Whatever you can think. Yeah. Because, like, Pudgy went from 1954, when him and Uncle Elmer and Lois and his sister couldn't get in this restaurant. Next thing you know, he was talking about 1975 when he was getting high. And when he went to the penitentiary. And then he went back to being in the military, and they locked the whole, since some two military guys got killed, and the sheriff told them, get out our face. He said, okay, and they was brothers. So the colonel at the base said, shut this down, bet not now, nigga, leave this base and go spend no money out there, because they was 80% of the finances in the town. Oh, y'all don't care about these black men getting killed? Not a problem. We gonna spend on base. Can't nobody leave. He said 2 weeks later they had locked up 2 white boys. But see, we don't know this. You know, this.
We don't realize all we gotta do is just stop buying stuff for a day.
Yeah. And see that.
Just go in the house and sit down for a day.
Yeah.
Don't come out to shop. Don't come out to do nothing. If we did that for one day, stuff would crash.
And like on my show, I got a Black Favors for Friday, Black Favors Day. The 1st of the month, the 7th of the month, the 14th of the month, and the 21st of the month. And the reason all we doing is shopping with us on those 4 days. Don't go shop tomorrow and load up for the 1st. Don't be shopping on the 31st talking about I'm loading up for the day. No. Tuesday, the 1st, go shop with some black people. The 7th, go shop, or 7, 21, 14 to 21, because it's the 7th and 14th and the 21st in every month.
Right.
And if we do that, people start looking for us on those days. You'll watch them put some sales out on the 31st, on the 5th, on the 10th, and at that point then you know we got y'all. But yeah. Because I stopped talking about sports because I was like, I'm tired of this. This ain't getting me nowhere. And I went from I just started on YouTube. I went from 85 subscribers to 250.
Wow.
Because people like, look,
How many you got now?
I just checked today, 250.
Oh, 250. Okay.
Yep. So, and then I got subscribers on my network. I got subscribers worldwide. Hold on 1 second. I'll tell you where I got people listening on my network. 1 second. Cause I used to work with this network called X Squad. They was out of Atlanta, and they was trifling. I couldn't take it no more. They was real messy, you know. And I'm like, you know what? Y'all could be mad. I'm out. My contract up on my on the 1st of August 2019, and I bought my own network. I bought it with these 2 guys. They stopped paying. And they halfway do stuff. I'm like, I ain't finna argue with y'all about this. Oh yeah, we doing this. Nah, y'all like saying that, but y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all ain't brought no new people in. Y'all ain't got nothing. So I'm like, okay. I ain't got time, Rita. It's just like, oh, okay. Yeah, man, we gonna blow up. Yeah, okay. Keep blowing up. I ain't got time. Keep blowing up, nigga. I ain't finna be arguing with you about this. Cause y'all like saying y'all own something. Y'all don't like doing what you got to do to own it. So they be like, "Hey man, what we gonna do?" Hey man, that's when I switched the video. They was like, "Hey man, you gonna leave us behind?" I was like, "Yeah, pretty much." I'm like, yeah, that's the plan. Cause I ain't got time for y'all, and I still make money off y'all working, but I'm gonna be making my own money. Okay.
That's true. That's a good idea.
This is where my show that just went off got listeners. The United States, India, Germany, the United Kingdom, Barbados, France, Brazil, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Belgium, Australia, Romania, Russia, Italy, Turkey, Kenya, South Africa, the Philippines, Poland, Portugal, Syria, Guatemala, Guyana, Hungary, and others.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying, man. This is too big for y'all to drag y'all feet. Keep dragging y'all feet. And this is like,
Wow, that's good.
this is the places that my stuff go to. Spreaker, Joy Savant, Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Alexa, iTunes, Radio, T-Player, Music Downloads, Castbox, and iHeartRadio.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
I'll be happy to help out.
Thank you. Thank you.
I promise you, I'll be happy to help out. If we can talk Friday, we can talk Friday. That's good.
Yeah.
I don't have no problem with it.
Friday at 6 o'clock. Okay, so I'm just gonna write it in now. So when I do when they go out automatically, it's gonna say with special guests, Rita Bailey. And I'm telling you, Rita, people have been loving this, and ain't nobody talking. Well, I sailed the 7 seas. It ain't been none of that. It's just been like, well, you know, I had a good job and I did this. And Bonnie said, I worked at Press for 40 years. Yep. And it's like, oh, okay. Let me see, where is it? Okay, with special guest, Rita Bailey.
Man, you should call Lil Sammy. You remember Lil Sammy, don't you?
No.
You don't remember Lil Sammy?
Nope.
Lil Sammy got the Gladstone, what you call it? He on Facebook. He run the Gladstone.
Oh, I know who he is. I didn't know his name.
Yeah. That's who you need to talk to, too.
Okay, I don't know him, but yeah, he welcome.
I tell Bo to contact Lil Sammy. She know how to get him. That'll be nice, because he'll definitely know, because he know, he keep up with everybody. I mean, like your birthday come along, he got you on Facebook. Happy birthday to my man. La, la, la. He keep up with everybody. So I think that'll be good too.
Yeah, I mean, really, anybody who want to be on, they on. Anybody that want to be
I'll
on.
tell Bo to tell him, and then you can ask him about Gladstone memories or whatever,
Yeah.
And he'll definitely be able to tell you.
Yeah. Anybody that want to be on, they can be on. Period. You can have a lot to say. You ain't got to have nothing to talk about. Because once you start talking, you're going to go, oh, yeah. I remember Tommy Craig and Petey was fighting.
Yeah.
What's the day? The 8th? I mean, the 4th? The 11th is that day. With special guest, Rita Bailey. I'm telling you. And I ain't had Alice Page was watching today. I did that and that. I'm telling you. And I sent her a message. Alice, get your sisters ready.
Okay, but I'm gonna tell you, I just got information on the Whitmore lineage. It's tell you that.
Okay, but we still got to talk about you too.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Maybe I should just send it to you, and you talk about it if you want to.
No, we can talk about it. We can talk about it all. Rita, I want until you say, okay, I'm tired.
Oh, okay.
I don't care. Bonnie was talking about skating at the Broadway Strand tonight. Look, it's people all over the country don't know what the Broadway Strand with, and they like, one dude typed in, she a real queen.
Wow.
I'm telling you, people just want to hear it. And that, to me, that's why our community messed up. Because we don't talk about nothing. Like me and you said today, we don't know if we got diabetes. We don't know if we got hepatitis. We don't know nothing. So it's time for, this is going to inspire people to talk to their folks, hopefully.
Yeah, they really do need to. They really do need to. Because we got relatives we never met. We don't even know. They don't know us. We don't know them.
Yep.
And that's the way, a lot of different organizations and groups, that's the way a lot of different ethnicities want to keep it like that.
Mm-hmm. That's why, look, you've been hearing about critical race theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you to read it. Do you know that's an elective in college?
Oh, yeah.
Why y'all even talking about it?